You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com. Alrighty, we're back. 5:21, that's the time on top of the Amphitheater Hill. And only, man, for what they thought this day was going to be, to have the high 80s at most is just a gorgeous evening for you guys to come and fill your bellies up. We got Sam Foxman of Evntiv and friend of the show, Dan Herkert, back here on the other end of the dais down there. Guys, how has the day been for both of you?
Oh man, it's been fantastic. Thanks for having us. The wind is starting to pick up, the sun's starting to go down. It's a beautiful day and there's a lot of food.
Well, and what I think's great is just seeing all the families that are out here just finding their spot on the concourse, Sam, and just enjoying a nice afternoon.
Yeah, it's such a diverse audience. You've got families, it's date night, it's people hanging out that are just trying new food for the first time.
And you know, that's what I thought was fun too, because there was a couple of couples, no pun intended if that is a pun, and they were sitting there, and one went to one food truck, another went to another, and it's like, all right, now let me try a little bit of that. Now I'll try a little bit of this. It made it really cool to see.
That's the beauty of it. I mean, wouldn't you say that, Dan, that like most people try at least two trucks?
At least two, and some you'll see a whole group of friends that have been coming for years that set up their own 10x10s. They will probably sample at least half the trucks.
That's incredible. And, you know, Sam, take me through your partnership with this guy down here in the Amphitheater Commission, the Evntiv Amphitheater Commission partnership. How tight is it, and how great has it been working together?
Oh, my gosh. We are so grateful for our partnership with the city. And, you know, this really came from, a dream that started with the mayor, city officials that wanted to really create the center stage, if you will, for the city, and host events that had a purpose, that would entertain the region. And that was 10 years ago. And we've seen so many successes since then. And our partnership has just been not only one of trust, but also experimentation and knowing what works and really doing the work behind the success. And it's been great, and I can't wait for the future.
Well, and Dan and I have talked about this time and time again, is that, you know, when the season officially ends after the Expo, you guys are just getting started for the next year. And take me through what that looks like in the off-season through Evntiv and the Commission to decide what 2025 looks like.
Well, we give Dan about a month.
if that.
Yeah, and no joke. And then
Seriously?
we typically recap the season, and then we're on to planning.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Because I've never talked to you about that.
As a
Dan.
commission, we're already looking at budget items for next year.
Well, and you know, in a day like this, it's not, you know, the Scotty McCreery show with all the lights on the stage, but there's still components that have to be put into place to set this up. Take me through Sauce Magazine's role in this, and how important it is to have them a part of this day as well.
That was actually something that we both agreed on in the very beginning. At the time, the magazine was owned by a friend of mine, Allison, and I called her immediately. I said, hey, crazy idea. We want to build one of the biggest food truck events in the region, and we want to do it in Alton. And, you know, her reaction to that was, I love it because nobody's done it. It sounds amazing. And at the same time, Dan and I and others, this was one of the first ancillary events that we talked about. So this was early on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and now we were trying to decide, is it 9 or 10 years this year?
I think it's 10.
See, I think it's 10 as well. I think we're at 10.
Because we lost 2020 to COVID, so otherwise this would be the 11.
Well, and what I think's cool is, like, you know, Dan has his own mental clock when it comes to a day like today. He knows, he just told me, at 5:30 to 6:30, get ready to see the explosion of folks coming in for the second run.
Yep.
Do you almost have a mental clock for events like this too, Sam, on your end of things, where it's like, all right, around this time, that's when the concourse fills up? And
Yeah, and I think that whether it's Alton or really any outdoor event, there's a cadence to it, and there are things to expect, but, you know, part of our job is expecting the unexpected.
Yeah.
And that's something, you know, that we also have become accustomed to here. But yeah, we've done this event and some of the other events, Expo, Jazz and Wine, for a number of years. So not only are we perfecting them, but we're also anticipating.
Yeah. Well, and I wanted to touch on something real quick, and that's just what it looks like when you're getting through a big show like Scotty McCreery, because you guys were here early. I mean, I saw you guys here at 11. I figured now that we have you at the table, let's talk about it. what the folks I'm sure we didn't see as we were getting ourselves ready to go to see a good show was all the hard work that was going on months, weeks before they even got to the stage. You want to talk about that a little bit, guys?
That process probably started in January.
Yeah.
And probably an offer in February or March, somewhere in there. And so to do a show like that doesn't come together overnight. There's months of work that goes into it. And we, as a bunch of volunteers on the commission, couldn't do it without Sam and his team.
And Sam, what's that look like with your team as you're trying to find what would work best with what the amphitheater's looking at, what they want to do, and how it goes into routing and all the fun stuff that goes into play?
Yeah, so as Dan mentioned, like we start working on talent very early, literally in January and February. And it's a combination of really understanding who's touring, what the artist's schedule is, does it work for Alton, and it's the research behind, is this the right act? Is it going to sell the right amount of tickets? Is it, the right for the audience is going to draw? So that all of that work starts early on. Then once that is booked, then it's the pre-work of, okay, what does the artist need to perform at their best? So what do the sound and lights look like? What is the staging looking like? What is, the front of house looking like? Not to mention all the stuff that Dan works on with the infrastructure here, food and beverage, etc.
Man, it's really cool, though, to hear all of the different components, because Dan and I talk about it on the show all the time, but to hear it from you, Sam, is a really interesting take and a really fascinating one, too, just to know all the work that does go in. Now we're talking food. That's why we're here. You got until 8 o'clock, but you really got till about 6:30 to really get here before the craze comes. Now you can still get lucky and sweet talk a few vendors by 7:30, but have you found one yet? Is there a go-to Sam Foxman
I've got my
vendor?
eye on a couple, that's for sure.
I'm telling you what, I had cheeseburgers brought up to me, brisket, wonderful potato chips. I don't know what else I can...
Listen, that sandwich that you were gnawing on looked pretty good. I liked it.
I'm telling you what, that was the Beastcraft. That was the Beastcraft brisket, wasn't it? Well, and what's your message to the community of Alton that, is getting ready, if they haven't stopped by yet, Sam, they're getting ready to, or they're coming to Jazz and Wine next week or the Expo. What's your takeaway just for them coming to the amphitheater? How important is it?
To me, I think that this is one of the most scenic outdoor experiences you can have with entertainment. Mm-hmm. I mean, just the vista behind the stage is very unique. And the things that are being done here are pretty acclaimed. Like, we have been voted one of the best jazz festivals in the Midwest.
Wow.
For wine and jazz. This is one of the largest food truck festivals in the Midwest. So it really is unique to the amphitheater, unique to Alton, and it does draw people from around the region. And just to be part of that, I'd say come check it out. I mean, there is nothing else like it.
And Dan, before I move on and we talk and wrap this up here in a second, Sam, how long have you been in the industry of booking acts and being in event promotion?
You want me to
I gotta ask.
I think it's 29 years.
And how is it, in the 29 years, when you find a partnership like the amphitheater partnership, because those aren't every day you have something that kind of just fits like a glove.
Yeah.
That's got to be a little unheard of.
Yeah, I think that when it works, it works. And the key to any relationship, obviously, is trust, listening, and being flexible. I mean, when Dan and I went through the COVID years together, flood years together, where we were, had to move a show from the amphitheater
Steve
to another.
Miller.
I still have nightmares.
That's right. I mean, that's when a relationship gets put to the test, and we came through with flying colors because both sides are ready to jump in and make it happen.
Well, and just always bring up Steve Miller. We could not have done that without the expertise of Evntiv, and pulled that off in a matter of a week and a half at most.
Yes. Well, and seriously, guys, I mean this, and I'm not saying this because you're both bigger than me and you're right in front of me, but you guys have a really great thing going. And for this to happen at our amphitheater when, on a Friday or a Saturday night, we can go and sample some of the best food trucks in the region and then have a view like this, live music, and then to catch up with friends and family, it's priceless.
Well, I say it every time we talk. It all comes down to the money. So go out and patronize those sponsors that you see. If there's anybody out there that is a potential sponsor, come down. If you like what you see, we'd be happy to form a partnership with you and get you involved.
And, guys, with that being said, the best of luck as this festival keeps wrapping up. You have until 8 o'clock to get here, and we're going to keep moving on because we got to go see another amphitheater commissioner here in a couple of minutes. But Sam, Dan, thank you so much for letting me be a part of this today.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for being here.
And for all of you at home, get on out here. You got 2.5, I hope my math's right, 2.5 hours, Ryan? That's dangerous. 2.5 hours to come sample some of the greatest food trucks in the region. Say hi to Sam, Dan, and listen to Rock Mafia as they are just kicking ass and taking names. We'll say so long for now, but we'll pick it up here in about an hour's time right here on RiverBender.com and Roku TV.